producers and songwriters make a lot of money, like most of the time more than artists. But I think that producers just need to be celebrated more, maybe even by the artists themselves, because the artists are the people that are up front. They're like a Coca-Cola can. They're like the product.
Hi everyone, this is ProducerPod UK. I'm your host, Miss Jules, and tonight we have with us Dinnerboy.
What's good?
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
Can't complain. So, you have worked for artists such as like Millions, Shaka, Western, to mention a few. But I wanna get to know you more.
Okay, cool.
So if you can just like give me a little intro
Okay.
about yourself.
Yeah, my name's Deanyboy. I'm a music producer. I play a few instruments. Drums is my first instrument. I started when I was really young. I started producing when I was 11 in secondary school.
Wow.
And I've been producing ever since. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what made you like start making music?
Music's heavily in my family.
Okay.
So like my dad's a reggae singer. My mum used to be in a girl group when she was younger. My uncles were in a boy group. Yeah, all of my cousins do music. Like everyone does music and film and entertainment and modeling and all that.
So what did you learn first? Like to work in the software, in a software, or like to play the instruments?
The instruments first. I was playing drums, like a full drum kit at the age of 5.
Okay.
So I would, like that's a
Wow.
God-given talent. You can't learn that.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's a God's blessing. You know what I'm saying? So
Really thought I was gonna stop, boy. Fuck it, let's get back to the guap, boy. True definition of survival. Them niggas.
yeah, that was where I started. Started playing drums in church when I was like, about 5, 6. Knocking drums, man. And then I started touring with my uncle's group, and we did Europe and stuff when I was like 8.
Wow.
So I was touring and stuff from then. So I've been just doing music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I started producing from secondary school. I started on, I think it was Cubase. And then, and just producing ever since.
Okay, what software do you use right now?
Do you know what's funny? GarageBand, you lot need to hit me up, yeah? Because I need to do a whole thing with GarageBand.
Okay.
Because I did all of Cash's album, I did it on GarageBand.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was buried, you know?
No. We mixed in Logic
Okay.
and stuff, but I produced everything in GarageBand.
Okay.
So GarageBand, holla at me. Yeah? Holla. Let's talk. Yeah?
Oh, I'm surprised. I'm surprised because, like, not like many people use GarageBand.
Yeah. I
Like-
find that like GarageBand, the software is very quick and
Yeah.
simplistic in terms of when I want to bang a beat out immediately, I don't want nothing too fiddly. I just want to get the beat out and then I can, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tweak
your
and
little-
stuff like that in other programs, whether it's Pro Tools, whatever. But GarageBand is very quick and simplistic for me to get the idea out of my head and into the computer.
Okay. So I want to know, like, you see when you, like, compose music, like, what is your drive? Like, what is your aim, like, with your music? Because some people just make music because they like to make music. Some people just make beats because they want to get money of it. Like, so what is your drive, like?
I would say there's 2 separate drives that I have. The first and foremost, as a music producer, which is like the job side of it, is for me to accommodate or help an artist get their point of view across. So for example, if you're a rapper or a singer, whatever your subject matter is in your song or the emotion you want to portray, it's for me to create that soundtrack, just like when you watch a movie and there's a soundtrack. That is my job side. The fun side and my actual soul side, what I enjoy to do, is to provoke emotions. Is for people who might not be able to sing or rap or whatever, when they hear a beat, even just the instrumental, it is like an explanation of how that person's feeling through the music, even though they can't articulate themselves through music. I'm trying to help people articulate themselves via what they're hearing.
I was going to go there because I wanted to know, like, if you see when you make music, do you mind, like, the low frequencies and things like that? Like, because, you know, like, the AO8, we have AO8,
Yes.
like, it's, you know? So it's like, do you mind that, like, when you make music? Because let's say like some beats they dark and
Yeah.
they give you that feeling of
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
Other beats are more upbeat, like,
Right.
and they make you happy.
Right.
So like, what is your like? How can I say it? Like, when you make music, like, what is your what you trying to put into your music, really?
Right, okay. Well, for me, like, I'm working with frequencies and stuff, and if you lot don't know about 432 frequencies, go and do your research.
Okay.
But yeah, I like to work with frequencies because obviously everything on Earth is vibrating at a certain frequency. Everything. And the moment you tap into the right frequency, that is your gateway to musical love. Because obviously love is the highest force on Earth, and music is very, very close behind that. So, yeah, I just kind of, like, without going too deep,
Yeah.
I just kind of look at frequencies and how they affect you immediately before an artist even jumps on the record. Because when I play an instrumental, the artist needs to feel that emotion for them to write on it as well,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
immediately. So that's kind of what happened with the Wagwan record that I did with Cashh and Weston. Same thing. Hailey heard the record and he was like, bro, I think we posted something like that. Hailey was like, I just already knew that song was like a hit
Yeah.
before I even wrote
Yeah.
the hook on it and stuff like that. So it's important
It's
to have
important.
that, you know, them frequencies to capture
Look at,
people.
yeah. What was like the first beat that you made that you felt like, wow, this is the one?
Oh,
Everybody's
man.
gonna get to know me now.
There's like a
What-
million of those. It was like the first million beats I made. I thought it was the one.
like, but when do you feel like, okay, this is the one? Like, I feel like right now after this, that's it. I'm not stopping.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think it was good for me when I had a boy group that I was managing called Fundamental.
Okay.
And I produced a record for them called Jump. With my old production partner at the time, Burberry, and we did a song called Jump for Fundamental. And when that came out, and the response I was getting from people, because the energy you get back from people is important.
Yes.
So the response that I was getting back from people, that was it. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad I'm doing this. But I was doing it for years before that anyway. But that was a moment where I was like, yeah, okay,
Wow.
people are understanding what I'm putting out. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah.
And what was the hit that made you known in the industry?
Songs. I think it's like a collaboration of different songs that I've done, like just different. I think, to be honest with you, I don't think there's like just like a one hit record for most producers. Obviously, to go international, yes, but like when you're working in the scene, record labels, A&Rs, artists, people know of you whilst you're climbing the ladder of quote unquote success.
Yeah.
People know of you beforehand, and I think that all adds to it. When you get that record that kind of flies on radio and goes, most people are already talking about you, like, yeah, I've heard of him before, like I've heard his work, he's dope.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
kind of people kind of like you before, but you know, that's that moment.
In what moment, like, did you realize, like, you know what, this is more than making music, this is more than making beats, now I need to make my brand, I need to like push my brand, and you know, so I can, you can get,
If I'm being honest, like I've always been like an all-in person. So like when I think about things, I think about the whole package. So like I used to be a dancer as well,
okay.
as well as a musician. I sing as well, and like I used to help a lot of rappers with their cadence and stuff like that when I was like growing up in music production. So, and I've worked in fashion as well,
Wow.
done a bit of videography and stuff. So when I'm thinking of like music, I'm thinking of the whole brand. So if I meet with an artist and I go in a studio, when they're like, yeah, I want a tune that's gonna fly in the clubs, I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what kind of record, what kind of tempo we looking at, what kind of thing? All right, cool. So we need these kind of kick drums. The sound of this 808 is gonna match. Like, it's distorted, so your clothes need to look like this to match that. Everything is all together.
Yeah,
Do you know
it's
what I'm
all
saying?
together, yeah.
So I've kind of always been a brand orientated person with everything that I'm doing anyway. So I couldn't give you like a start date of when I've like been thinking about that, to be honest.
Will you go back to singing, or
Yeah, I sing on like a lot of the records that you'll hear. If you hear like vocal samples on them, they're all me. I sample my own vocals, like all through like even Cash's latest album, like Mazzoline, Mood, like all of them records. You'll hear vocal samples on them. It's all me.
Okay. But would you be like,
Like doing the artist thing.
yeah,
Potentially.
okay, all right, that's cool.
One thing at a time still, you know. Can't do everything at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about. I feel like Cash's album is been like a big project for you. You know, where you could like put hands on it. You could
It's
like
personal.
yes,
Very
you know,
personal.
I feel like it's personal.
For sure.
So I wanna know, like, first of all, I wanna know what, like, how you guys got to know each other.
Okay. So when was this? About nearly probably like 6 years ago now. Maybe even 7, I'm not even sure. But basically, I saw when Cashh was in Jamaica and there was not a lot happening. Like considering where he was before he left the UK and went to Jamaica, when he got removed, there was a point where there wasn't a lot happening. And even though he's putting music out, I just felt like people weren't really feeling what was going on. So I just kind of reached out through Carla Marie. Shouts out to Carla Marie. She hooked me up with him. And I was actually flying out to Jamaica with a company called Admore to do one of my first videos. They signed one of my singles and they helped me do the video and stuff for it and whatnot. So we flew out there, and then I got Carla Marie to introduce me to Cashh through Drake Island,
Okay.
who's a part of I think that's like Popcorn's clique and that. And then I met Cashh through them basically, and then I was like, "Yo, bro," I was hollering at him from the UK saying on DM like, "Bro, I'm flying out to Yard, let's link, bro." But he
Yeah.
never see it. Cause him have board 40 tours and follow at them time there. But when I linked him, I was like, "Check your DM, brother." He's like, "Oh, you've been reaching out." I'm like, "Come on, bro." So then we like connected, and then we just made music, and it was just immediate. It was instant. So even when I got back to England, we started working on tracks through WhatsApp and Skype and them things there. So we did the majority of the album over that way. And then he surprised me when he reached back to the UK. He surprised me. I was like, "I'm here." I'm like, "Raw."
So is that like since then you guys started that album?
Yeah,
Wow.
we worked on it for a minute. So it's
Okay.
about 5 years in the making, that album.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why it's personal for me.
Yeah.
It's not just like a project where someone comes and says, "Okay, can you work with my artist and blah blah blah." This is something where I was actually involved with the creation and the. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a lot of emotions as well because obviously he had a situation with like trying to get back to the UK and all that stuff. So he's going through a lot of emotional stuff.
Yeah.
And like I'm just feeling everything that's going on. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay, what is the soundtrack that I could produce for him to have a template to express exactly how he's feeling? Do you get what I'm saying? And there's enough more records or whatever that people ain't even heard yet. But yeah.
So I feel like, you know, this album, like you said, is personal, not only for you, even for him. And I wanna know, like, what is the purpose, like, for you as a producer, like, of that album? What do you wanna, like? Would you like the people, like, when they listen to the album, like, to get to know more your sound, or to also like get to know, like, I don't know, your feelings when you was producing it, like, because I feel like that album is like a, I don't know, mixed of everything.
Yeah.
You know, so what would you like expect, like,
it's
from
quite
that album?
It's quite diverse. I mean, like obviously we did Trench Baby when he was back in the UK, and that was the start of like the first lockdown. And then like I just felt like it was like a blanket of depression over the whole country, over the world.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "What's going on?" kind of thing. And like I sent him the instrumental. That was literally me expressing how I felt. Through that instrumental, like that kind of emotion of like what the hell is going on with the world. So if you listen to the Trench Baby instrumental, I literally felt like that, and that's what I wanted to portray on the record. So that's like one feeling. Then you've got like obviously people did the Trench Baby challenge and that went off and people was doing it and they had like you get in touch with people via that kind of emotion and that feeling. Obviously Wagwan is a summer record, so that was when we was coming out of the lockdown and it was like a celebrative kind of vibe as well. And Return of the Man, same thing as well. So there's different emotions on there. So in terms of getting like a point across, I would just say with that project, I want firstly, for people to understand the immigration system, like how it affects families and people, individuals. These are human beings going through real life situations. Secondly, how a producer can help to interpret or have like a musical blanket for someone to tell their story.
Yeah.
And thirdly, just making sure that the work is cohesive as a piece of work that you can listen to from start to finish. And you can just play it in your car or wherever you're at,
Yeah.
and do that. So I'd think internationally, I'd want people to be able to look at that as a piece of work and be like, nah, that's going to stand the test of time.
Yeah.
In 10 years, you can still play all them same records.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's like, I would say the main objective for what I was trying to do from a production point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like what really musicians, artists, they want to do, like make a record and make that record like, you know, a classic,
Yeah, for sure.
you know.
For sure.
So
For sure.
okay, you go hands on everything. You know?
Literally.
Wow. And what is the process of you making a beat? Like when you start producing, like what is the process like? Do you start like with the drums, then the melody?
I usually start with a beatbox, you know.
Okay.
I usually beatbox an idea in my like my phone or something like that. And I usually try to keep the beat as close to the original idea as possible. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, a lot of records that you've heard would have started with a beatbox.
Are you into like more acoustic instruments?
It just whatever fits it, because obviously like an 80s sounding record is going to be highly like dominated by synthesizers and stuff like that. So that's not really acoustic, so to speak. That's more digital.
Okay.
But that's because it's an 80s record, where if I'm going to be doing something that is more reggae sounding, then I'd probably go for more live instrumentation and stuff like that.
I saw you was like, or you posted it like yesterday, last night, or 2 days ago.
Okay.
You was doing like an acoustic version of the song Mood.
Yeah.
With Cashh.
Yeah.
So how did that?
So basically, yeah, like back in the 90s, if you look at like old CDs and stuff like that, like I'd say maybe even the late 90s or mid 90s, there was a lot of like songs that came out with different versions.
Yes.
So you'd have like remixes and you'd have like extended version,
Yes.
12-inch this, that, and
Yes.
whatnot, and records and all that stuff like back in the
Yes.
day. And I just feel like some of that's missing from like
Alright,
popular culture like now. So we just wanted to give people like another way of hearing the same song. And it's worked because people are hearing things they didn't hear before. When you like pull the production back a bit and you take the drums out, you can hear more of the musical production on the record. And that was that. And obviously listening to and hearing Cash's vocal and hearing him in that sense, which is more raw and more real, more live.
So why do you think like he chose you to do this album? Like I know he's friends with the Steel Bangles and you know the producers. So why do you feel like he chose you?
I mean, like, apart from him knowing that I can execute and I'm good at what I do, me and Cashh have built a good relationship as brethren. Do you get what I'm saying? So it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And obviously, when there weren't really nothing going on for him, I'm assuming for him when he was in Jamaica and I reached out to him, he's probably seeing that as yo. Do you get what I'm saying? The brother real him just reach out and do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And likewise, I feel like it's important that when people are working with each other, they look at what's realistic.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking and saying to myself, all right, with what he's doing, I can tell he's a cold artist, but I know what I can bring to the table. So you need to make sure when you're approaching someone that you actually you can add worth to what they're doing.
Yeah.
So for me, I knew that I could add worth to what he's doing. So I'm going to approach him and be like, brother, better we link up and do some works, bro.
And you guys have brand together.
Yeah, we have different ideas and things. But like I said, I think about everything.
Yeah.
Branding, clothing line, all of that stuff. He's exactly the same.
Okay.
All these videos you're seeing, he's directing most of them, you know. Like Return of the Man, he directed. Moody directed. Do you get what I'm saying? Wash Clothes, all these songs. He's directing videos and editing himself. He's hands on. He was producing videos in Jamaica as well for people, and artists from here as well and stuff like that.
Wow. I feel like that album shows growth.
For sure.
And
For sure.
yeah. So what's next for you? What's next for you as a producer? Like, would you like to create like a new sound, or would you like people to get to know the sound that you're making now, and get to know you for this sound?
Okay. I'd say there's a few things that I want to do. There's a lot of things I want to do. If I'm being real. Movies.
Like
soundtracks for movies and movies as well.
Wow.
Short films. Producing artists, managing artists, developing artists. I've always done that anyway. I've got a couple of artists. Jalissa, artist called Jalissa. Papa Chase from Texas. He's here in the UK as well. He's cold.
Wow.
Cold. Jalissa's cold as well. You guys need to check them out. You'll find them on my page as well. On Instagram at Deanyboy, by the way. So those are the kind of things I want to do. Fashion, I'm heavily into fashion, so anyone that works in fashion, holler at me. I'm going to be doing a lot of that stuff, like with the fashion and the music and film and stuff like that.
I think like it goes together, Like,
yeah, for sure. But I've got different ways of executing this one in particular.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah.
Are you open to collab with other producers?
1,000,000%.
Okay.
1,000,000%. Producers, musicians, artists. I'm open to having conversations about everything. If it makes sense, we get it done.
What advice would you give to up and coming producers in terms of branding, in terms of on composing?
Yeah, I would say that your network is your net worth. Like you need to build your network with people. Everything that you see going on in this world of music, big collaborations and all that, it's all working friendships. It's all working relationships. People you've built good relationships with people. You might go to lunch or dinner with them and have like Skype calls or whatever, and you just build like a working friendship with someone. And you both bring something to the table. Make sure that your worth is always like higher and higher and higher. Every time people don't see you for a while and see you again, make sure you're up in that. And just make sure that if you don't play any instruments, because there's a lot of programs now where people put loops together and stuff like that. Like try and learn an instrument, especially if you're getting bread and you're making money. Try and pay someone to teach you an instrument. It's really going to add to your musical value. Look at Scott Storch when he's playing, like it's levels.
Insane,
Come on, man. Do you know what I mean? I think that's important. Learning an instrument.
Have you seen Kanye West documentary?
Yeah.
What do you feel about
Crazy. It's insane. He's a visionary. It's insane, man. It speaks for itself.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, music is a part of life. It's just like breathing, so that's never gonna go.
It's that confidence, that he had.
For sure.
So, what is your top producers like? Could be UK, America, wherever.
Top producers.
Top 5, let's say.
Top 5. Right. Jim and Jam and Terry Lewis. That's a one production outfit. They're up there. Teddy Riley. The Neptunes. Timbaland. And probably, let me name a producer like maybe Dr. Dre.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's top.
You kind of like Timbaland, like with the beatbox.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I see you vibing, Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Hands on, man.
Okay, is there any plans for the future, or any artist that you would like to work in the future, or anything you want?
Yeah, I'm open, man. I mean, like, it's funny. Like, I've literally got a hit record in my computer for every single artist that's out there right now in the UK that's doing bits. Like anyone that like in your top 10 that you could speak of, whether they're doing drill, whether they're doing R&B, whether they're doing rap, dancehall, Afro beats. I've got a hit record for every single one of them right now in my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
So any of you like that want that, you holler at me. I got it. Let's go.
What would you like to see for the producer community, like from now on? Like, what would you like? What do you think is missing?
I think what's missing is that producers are not celebrated enough.
Yes.
If you notice, right, even producers that are artists as well, they're kind of introverts.
Yeah.
They're not. A lot of them could have been artists a long time ago, but sometimes they might want the simple life.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? They're not into the hype, but they have the talent and the ability to do what all the artists are doing.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of introverted. Now, obviously, we know that producers and songwriters
Yeah.
make a lot of money, like most of the time more than artists.
Yeah.
But I think that producers just need to be celebrated more. Maybe even by the artists themselves, because the artists are the people that are up front. They're like a Coca-Cola can. They're like the product that is presenting the records and doing all the shows and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think if artists were to, big up their producers and stuff like that more, I think it would be a very positive thing.
Yeah.
I think it'll be healthy. Because sometimes I go out of London and just meet just people or whatever. People that are just regular people that might not even be that into music, but they're more into film or they watch TV shows or whatever. And they will literally be like, oh yeah, that song that this artist produced or whatever. And they think that the artist does the singing, rapping and the production and everything. They don't understand as a team. So I think it's imperative for people to kind of highlight the first thing you hear on radio, in a club or whatever, is the beat.
Yeah.
So forgive props,
Yeah, I would love like for producers, especially here in UK, to be a little bit like more open.
For sure.
When it comes to sharing the story,
Yeah.
the experiences, so that's what
But
we're
get
doing
at them,
this
man.
right now.
But I'm sure the producers are open, I just don't think people are really getting at them and like asking them enough. Like I find that even in America, people in general are just a bit more open and just more extravagant with whatever they're doing. Where in the UK, we're reserved more in general across the board. So if you get our producers and be like, look, like we'd love to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you have, but I'm sure there's producers that are open to having that discussion and
I
sharing
feel like
that.
here they don't understand their value, and they wait for them like to get to like to be known or to to get a hit, like for them to give an interview. So I feel like in that sense they should be like more open. So
I mean, there's timing for everything. I mean, I'm sure every producer knows when they feel like they're in a comfortable position to have a conversation. Sometimes when you're in grafting grind mode and your beard's growing out, you're like, I'm not in the camera thing. I'm just trying to do my thing until you understand.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how do you feel about this podcast?
I think this podcast is amazing, like I said to you before, and I think you need to definitely get more female producers on.
Yeah.
Because there's some dope female
There is.
producers.
I like C Beats.
Right.
Yeah, she's dope. Nova Wap.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of...
Karma Cruise is cold as well.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Get at some of them. They're cold, man.
Yeah,
They're cold.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them, definitely.
Yeah, man. Bring in the woman, them, man. Give the woman some highlight, too.
Okay, so if there's anything like you want to tell us, any project coming up soon?
Yeah, new Papa Chase music's going to be out soon. I think I might drop one of my own singles this year.
Okay.
Yeah, probably for the summer and just turn up the whole place. Yeah. And Jalissa, I got some new music with Jalissa folding out this year. And there's a lot of collaborative records coming out this year with artists that I can't talk about.
Okay.
But when you hear, you will know. Yeah, you will
it's
know.
Deanyboy, yeah?
Yeah, when you hear the Deanyboy music whisper over the records, you already know it's me.
I didn't ask you what's the story behind your name.
Oh, my aunt gave me my aunt was like, she was calling me Deanyboy from I was a youth.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what, auntie, I'm gonna use that name there, I make you proud.
That's good.
I'm grounded, man. I'm yeah.
She should be proud.
Yeah,
right now,
all day.
so.
That alone, mentally, is like a trigger of being grounded because it's family oriented.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you see, like in Jamaican culture, if you look a certain way and they call you that, that's you.
That's you, yeah.
like a lot of them say like, oh, I look like I might be Indian or whatever in Jamaica. So, yo, Indian,
They
wagwan.
will call you like that.
If you
Yeah.
ever try and tell them that's not your name, they're gonna call you it more. So you can't escape whatever they give you.
Yeah.
If them say, yo, Biggs are Biggs. You understand?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it. So
Okay.
yeah, that's a Jamaican thing still.
All right. So I'm happy to have you here. Thanks for coming. Thanks for
Thank
the
you for
support.
having me. I appreciate it.
I know you got things to do, but
No, I
you
appreciate
know,
it. I appreciate
thanks
the
for
phone call.
coming and supporting.
sure.
And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bless up.